1 in every 273 people every year are victims of violent crime. This means that if you look around your ward or your neighborhood, that one of those 300 people in your ward, if not more, have been a victim of violent crime in the last year. When we take into account how many years we live on this earth, and we think about the possibility of that happening to us or our loved ones, we need to take into account the realization that we need to be prepared to protect ourselves and our families at any given time. We have the ability, living in the United States of America, in most states, to be armed with a firearm or a handgun based on your local laws, local municipalities, and the status of where you are as a criminal or as a law-abiding citizen. You should take advantage of that opportunity to have a gun able to carry with you to protect yourself and your family, because according to FBI statistics, the average law enforcement response to any type of crime across the country is between 3 to 5 minutes. A lot can happen in 3 to 5 minutes. Think about any boxing event, any sporting event, any sparring event that you've ever watched on TV or you've watched in the Olympics. Those type of events are typically over in less than a minute to 3 minutes, and that involves somebody who is highly trained, physically exceptional, and extremely at the far end of the spectrum when it comes to their capabilities in individual combat and in individual efforts of a physical nature. When we think about ourselves and we think about having to hold out against someone for a 3-minute time period until law enforcement can arrive, even if we manage to get that phone call off immediately, that's a long time for somebody to do awful things to you and your family. Not only do we have a moral obligation to our families and to ourselves, we, as church members, have been counseled, when we read between the lines in the Family, a Proclamation to the World by the First Presidency of the Church, that we should be able to protect ourselves and our families. Directly in the proclamation, it states that we affirm the sanctity of life and of its importance in God's eternal plan. Husband and wife have a solemn responsibility to love and care for each other and for their children. The fathers are responsible primarily to provide the necessities of life and protection for their families. Protection, it's right there in the Family, a Proclamation to the World. We also read that those who fail to fulfill family responsibilities will one day stand accountable before God, which tells me that if I don't protect my children, protect my wife, or protect those I love around me from becoming victims of violent crime through taking efforts of attending training classes, availing myself of my God-given and legally given rights to carry a firearm, to be able to protect them if the need arises, then when I stand at the judgment seat before my Heavenly Father, I'm going to be held accountable for the actions that I did not take of being able to protect them. Again, according to the United States Census Bureau, there are 319 million people in the United States of America. With the FBI crime statistics for violent crime only, we're not talking about property crime, theft, or any other types of crime. We're talking violent crimes, rapes, homicides, murders, robberies, things where individuals are injured and severely traumatized based on the events of the crime that occurs. 1,165,000 people are victims of violent crime every year. When you do the math, that breaks down to 1 in every 273 people. We, as priesthood holders, we as parents, we as mothers and fathers, owe it to our children, we owe it to the Lord, and we owe it to those around us to take whatever action we can to be able to protect them. If you live in a state where you are not entitled to carry a gun, you can still obtain some type of self-defense training. You can go out and attend self-defense courses. You can attend self-defense seminars. You can receive training in how to carry either oleoresin capsicum, which is pepper spray. You can receive training in how to use a knife in case of a deadly force situation. You can receive training in how to use anything and be aware of what's going on around you. People are surprised when they realize after attending one of these classes just how many danger situations and danger signs there are in the world as they go about their life. My wife had an experience just today where a friend of hers on Facebook, actually not on Facebook, but a friend of ours in the ward had a friend whose daughter was an attempted abduction today at a Walmart here in Texas, where the child was in the bathroom with mom while mom was in the bathroom stall, and a man entered the restroom and grabbed the child and attempted to take the child outside of the restroom. This happens across the country. There are sex trafficking rings, there are prostitution rings, there are people stealing children for many different illegal and dangerous activities, and as parents, once again, we owe it to our families to be able to protect them, to have at our fingertips and have as a resource a way to protect them when these type of situations arise. So my call to action for you is to research, to find a class, to attend a class, to read a book about self-defense and about the different danger situations that are going on, because morally, legally, and definitely spiritually, it is up to us to protect them, because nobody else is going to be able to do it for us.